We're going to do this next medley, especially for Jerry and his dad, and Helga, and John and Darlene. Everybody else who wants to hear it, here's a short medley of tunes that was on our new recording.
Short medley. Short is relative.
Ready, start? All right, here we go.
We're going to play the first note of each song, right?
Yep.
See you in a half hour.
That's my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight to see if we can find a band that's out of sight. TPM is starting soon. Hurrying right now so you can catch their opening tune.
Let's take a ride to a polka dance tonight to see if we can find a band that's out of sight. The Versatones are starting soon. Hurry up right now so you can catch their opening tune. We'd like to play for you our opening number. We'd like for you to join and sing along. All the six of us are here to bring you happiness and cheer. We'll try our very best to play your favorite songs. Forget your troubles with a smile and listen to us for a while. We'll do our best to entertain you all night long. It's guaranteed to help you. So say we're gonna have a party celebration. You bring your friends out, and I'll bring mine. We're gonna have a party celebration. We're gonna party and have a good time. Come take a ride to a polka dance tonight and hear a band. Playing oh so tight crusade is starting soon. Hurry up right now so you can catch this driving polka tune.
Do you hear it? Yes, I think you do. Come on and move. Feel it, baby. Come on, right?
And here to our song, it won't take so very long till we're moving to the music that we play. And then here to our song, come on, sing along. Gonna have a good time, come what may. Playing till that song, that's what we got. All we need to join the party is a smile. Turn up the music, we're trying to try to spotlight, turn us loose. We all need to have some fun. Lending here to our song that won't take so very long. Tune in to the music that we play. Lending here to our song, come on, sing along. Gonna have a good time, come on, babe. Let's take a ride up to the polka dance tonight to see if we can find a band that's out of sight. Energy! Energy! It's ready, babe. So hold it right now so you can hear our opening tune. Just ready, the place high. Oh, just watch what happens. Snakes up and down. No one grabs the young, I think it's been gonna do. And the rest of the paper, what's it gonna do? Send down his packing and out of the building. It's a great day. It's a great day. A hot day for a hot day. It's a hot night. It's Pittsburgh, PA. It's a great day. It's a great day for a hot day. It's a hot night, it's Pittsburgh. It's a great day, it's a great day. For a hot day, for a hot day. It's a hot night, it's a hot night, it's Pittsburgh. It's a great day, it's a great day. For a hot day, for a hot day. It's a hot night, it's a hot night, it's Pittsburgh. Let's take a ride to the polka dance tonight to see if we can find a band that's out of sight. John Stevens is starting soon. Hurry in right now till you can catch our opening tune. Having fun, polka music's number one. Listen to my drum play, everybody swing and swing. Clap your hands and shout out loud, and we'll go from town to town. Listening to their band today, everybody shout and ring. People come from town to town, just to dance and hop around. Listening to their favorite songs, the band will play all night long. Here comes John and Chrissy too, Jerry, John and Bridget too. Waiting for the band to play, everybody shout and ring. Let's take a ride. Let's do a polka dance tonight to see if we can find a band that's out of sight. The Versajays are starting soon. So hurry in right now so you can hear our opening tune. Let's go in the air now. When the world outside is closing in, you just feel like giving in, and you think there's no place for you to go. When the storms of life is finding way to your sun another day, you can't seem to find a clear rainbow. When you need someone to be there and help you face the rain, someone to stand beside you till the end. A spirit that will guide you and help you find a way. Someone to hold your hand and be a friend, or you can call on me whenever you are alone. When no one seems to care, I'll be there to pick up the phone. A beacon in the night, the guys who practice things. When you need someone to love, then you can call on me. Let's take a ride to a polka dance tonight. You see if we can find a band that's out of sight. The boys are starting soon. So hurry in right now so you can hear everything good. It's the boys' night out. It's the boys' night out. You can dance all night long. Tonight is the night out. It's the boys' night out. Let there be no doubt. It's the boys' night out. Chicago, he's starting soon. Hurry in right now so you can catch our opening dance. polka party all night long. Come take a ride to a polka dance tonight to see if we can find a band that's on our site. Polka family has started soon. So hurry right now so you can catch the opening tune.
go by request.
Well, that's one way to open up the second set.
And that's for sure. A nice medley. And as always, thanks to everyone that's watching or joining us here in Latrobe, Pennsylvania at the St. Vincent's Parish Festival here at the St. Vincent's Grove. And of course, the band we're listening to is the Mon Valley Push. And of course, they're out in this way, Western Pennsylvania. That's where we are. And this is set number 2 of the afternoon. They just kicked it off with a great medley that they do on their latest release.
All right, here we go. One more polka, then we're going to switch the tempo up, do an obetic for you. Barry on the vocal on this next one.
And Mon Valley Push is playing till 8 o'clock. So when they take the next break, they'll
Here
take
we go.
about
Barry on the
45
vocals
minutes
for
to
you.
an hour
One called
break.
Sweet Bippy.
And if you're watching us from out there at Pulaski Polka Days, Pulaski, Wisconsin, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us. Like Nick and Yash, I know the Beat are playing up there.
One call, Sweet Bippy. Thank you.
And Christine Lishneski there and Lil Yash, John Lishneski are watching us from the Amsterdam, New York area. Lil Yash and Christine, good to see you on. As always, thanks for joining us. Good seeing you 2 weeks ago up there in Amsterdam, New York when they had the Parish Festival with Polka Family, and what a great weekend that was. So take care, have a good rest of your weekend. Of course, you can catch them every Saturday morning if you caught them this morning, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. if it's Saturday, you know what it must mean. It's Polka Magic Radio on Polish Newcastle Radio. And, of course, if you're in the Amsterdam, Albany, New York area, you can catch them on WCSS 1490 AM or locally 106.9 FM out there in Amsterdam, New York. And I think I saw Carol Lee Marie, who we met at Ocean Beach Park Polka Days a month ago, who was out at the Wisconsin Pulaski Polka Days. Carol Lee Marie, good seeing you there at OBPPD a month ago. Have a great time at Pulaski Polka Days, as well as Nick Yash and all the guys in the beat. Of course, Polka Family, Polka Country Musicians, Livewire.
Newest recording as well. Here we go. One called The Happy Boy, Obedic.
So you folks out there at the Pulaski Polka Days, have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy, have a blast, and a lot of great music up there.
Here we go. One call, The Happy Boy, Obedic.
And the Suwarskis are watching us from the
Waltz time for you right
Philadelphia,
now.
Pennsylvania area, New Jersey.
Everybody who wants to dance a waltz, good camp.
Bob and Frank and
Randy on the vocals for you right now. One call, Guru. Fantastic.
Hope you are doing well out there, and have a good rest of your weekend and enjoy back there in the Philadelphia, New Jersey areas.
Send one out to Paul
Richmond.
and the folks down here, Eleanor, Mike, and those guys.
Good seeing you on, as always, Bob, as well as brother Frank. And we're at the St. Vincent's Grove Parish Festival here in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, listening to the Mon Valley Push.
Home
I saw Chris Falchuk on earlier watching the video during this set. Chris, good to see you on. Hope you and Mary are doing well up there in the Clifton Park, New York area. Thanks for joining us, and hope you are doing well, and have a good rest of your weekend there, Chris, as well as Mary.
Hey, remember the acapella stuff?
Christine Holchuk, good to see you on. As always, out there in the upstate New York area around Buffalo.
This one was
good to see you on. Hope you're doing well and have a good rest of your weekend.
Ain't that right, Steve?
Steve's favorite artist.
He did such a great job.
And enjoy the rest of the weekend there, Christine. Hopefully we'll see you again. Hopefully we'll see you at some point real soon along that Polka Road somewhere.
City, Tennessee. I got what I need for a song. I hear my baby calling, I know that you're the only one. If I find right, the least I would I would. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, and away you feel. Mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Say, hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
Hello to the Bishes out there in the Penn, Ohio area, Western Pennsylvania, Ohio. Tom, Alexis, Amber, Lauren, and all the Reeses as well. Good to see you on. Hope you are doing well out there in the Uniontown area and, of course, Cleveland, Ohio. And hopefully we'll see you again real soon along that Polka Road somewhere. But take care and have a good rest of your weekend, Bishes and Reeses. Good to see you on as always. Thanks for joining us. I know Barbara Spike Dangler was watching during the first set. Hello to her. Hello to Joe Monchelik, who's watched both sets so far. Good to see you on, Joe, as always, up here in the Buffalo, New York area.
And happy birthday, Joe, from Dad and from the son.
Yes, happy birthday. Still a lot, Joe. Enjoy your birthday weekend.
Sweet Caroline.
Oh, yeah. Daniel Halkis out there, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well out there. And have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks for joining us as we're listening to the Mon Valley Push here at St. Vincent's Grove, St. Vincent's Parish Festival here in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. And this is their second set of the afternoon and the evening, and they'll be playing up until 8 o'clock. So you folks stick around for lots more music. And I saw Tara and Jimmy Weber were watching during the first set. Tara and Jimmy, hope you are doing well out there. Thanks for joining us down there in sunny Florida. And hopefully we'll see you again at some point real soon along that
song real quick before we play it.
Road, as they say.
We're going to feature the one and only Barry Nicolai on vocals.
Yeah, but we got some help.
Yeah, then you get some help from Steve. And then we bring Barry back in. So we don't pull him out of the game completely. We throw him out the right field for a little bit.
Can I stand behind the speakers this song?
Please.
Nick, do you want to explain the speakers?
No.
Okay, good.
Where the sound comes out. Ready to go.
We're starting a new thing. Stupidity.
Oh, that's been around, Frank.
Yes, I admit that I don't forgive. of our second album, one called The Medley of Cash.
Chicago.
Once again, we're the Mon Valley Push from California, Pennsylvania. Officially updated, right? We're no longer from Daisy Town, Frank?
Hello to the Wigs out there, the
Yeah,
Wig
we're from the Mon
Luckies.
Valley.
Kathy and Jim, good to see you on. Hope you are doing well out there in the Michigan area. Kathy and Jim, good seeing you at Ocean Beach Park. Polka Days a month ago, and hopefully we'll see you again real soon along that Polka Road. Take care and have a good rest of your weekend there, Kathy and Jim, Wigs, Wig Lucky. Thanks for joining us, as always, on our Facebook Live videos here. And also, hello to the Gayettes, Jeffrey and Kristen and Bob out there. Thanks for joining us. Sue and Don Cernick, good to see you on. Barb Max Cernick Massis is on. Carolyn Anila is on. Thanks for joining us. David and Donna Quartz are on. Thanks for joining us, as always. Thanks everyone for joining us here in Latrobe, Pennsylvania at the St. Vincent's Grove Parish Festival, the St. Vincent's Grove here, as this is the Mon Valley Push playing entertaining for us. And they're from California, Pennsylvania, which is out here in the western Pennsylvania
for this side of the picnic grove
area. And they're playing till 8 p.m.
All right, one more tune and take another
stick
break.
around for more music. And they're going to do one more song and then take another break. And they'll be back around 7 p.m., somewhere around there. So be sure to tune back and check back for their last set of the afternoon, evening here in Latrobe,
Make sure you check out all of the sponsors here. The hamburgers are wonderful. Can speak from experience.
I know I saw Nick Naito on earlier during, I think, the first set or earlier on this set.
Here we go,
Thanks for
one
joining
call,
us
boys
there,
from Chicago.
Nick, and hope you're doing well as Valerie. Thanks for joining us. Megan Monsville, thanks for joining us.
Chicago,
go. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back shortly. Thank you very much.
Megan, hope you and Walt are doing well out there in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Of course, you know Wally is the half of Dave and Bud on the Polka Revolution Show, Sunday mornings from 9:35 to 11 a.m. on Polish Newcastle Radio and WKST Radio, 1200 and 97.9 FM. Well, the band's taking a break. We're going to take a break, so be sure to check back around 7 p.m. or shortly before then for the final set with Mon Valley Push. See you in a little bit. See you in a little while.